the Oak Hill Collaborative. And this is Rayshone Oliver, who has a YouTube channel. And she has gone around the community and she's done interviews with business people, leaders in the community, and has interviewed them as to how they got started in their business, their challenges and successes. So we've selected 5, and we've brought them to the Oak Hill for the next couple months, starting next month, and have them give a talk that you can ask them questions. So, and one of the individuals that Rayshone has interviewed on her YouTube channel is our speaker this evening, and that is Deanna Fusillo. Did I say your name right?
You did, yeah.
And she's Sassy Girl Media, and I had always heard of the Sassy Girl Media, and so when Rayshone said, yeah, I could get that, Deanna, I was really impressed. So I'm going to let Rayshone introduce her friend who will be speaking with us.
Hello everyone, how's you guys doing today? Good. That's wonderful. I'm so excited to have you guys back, and I love meeting new entrepreneurs who are willing to learn and just get educated in this Facebook thing, guys. I don't know if you guys are getting some headache behind it, but it can sure be a task. But we have invited an expert I know because I firsthand experienced her expertise. She helps me with my business. She helps me with my Facebook ads, and she guides me through. She actually knows when they do something with the log and the analytics. She actually updates me on stuff like that, because otherwise I would be out of the loop completely, because they change it so frequently. So it is invaluable to have someone who is actually up on that and continuing to educate themselves on Facebook. That's so just forever changing. So without that further ado, I would like to invite Deanna Fusillo to take the stage. Thank you so much, Deanna, for coming.
I'm going to hand this back over to you.
Thank you. Improvise, guys. Improvise.
Well, thanks, Rayshone. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Are you going to hold that up the whole time? I'm talking?
Absolutely.
Perfect. I'm Deanna Fusillo. I've got Sassy Girl Media, and I am so glad I was invited here. When Rayshone called me and said, would you talk to a group about Facebook? For the couple of you that know me, know that that's like a definite yes, because I can talk Facebook and social media all day long with you guys. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. Like she mentioned before, it's going to be very casual in here and interactive. We are going to just pull up some Facebook pages. I'm going to tell you some of the ways the algorithm's changed, and then if anybody is brave enough to put their Facebook page up, I'll go over it, ask your questions, I'll tell you what you're doing right, what you could be doing better or different. If you've got general questions, ask them. This is, take advantage. There's no dumb question. It does change a lot. And every time I talk to a group, everybody's at a different level. So if you hear the first questions maybe are like way over your head, don't be afraid to ask something that's like just at the starter level, because there's somebody else in the room that's at that starter level as well. So it's all different. Everybody's at different places. I just want everyone to be really comfortable to ask so that you walk away knowing more, having those questions answered. A little bit about me. I did not plan on getting into marketing at all. My degree's in psychology and biology. I ended up here by accident. About 9 years ago, I was working corporate America, and I had a really nice job. I worked a lot as a single mom. I had 2 boys, and I know a couple of you guys have heard this story a million times, so sorry. But I was doing what I thought I was supposed to be doing, right? I'm raising my kids, and I'm working a lot, and I was blessed enough to have my parents that don't live very far from me help me with my boys. And then the week before Christmas, my son, who was 10 at the time, said he wanted one thing for Christmas, and I asked what that was. I was stressed and mad at him for like saying the week before Christmas, like a 10-year-old, right? That's like the most impossible gift to find or buy. But what he ended up telling me was that the only thing he wanted was one day home with me to watch a movie and have hot chocolate like we used to. So that was like right through the heart, right? I'm like, what are you talking about? So it was a big reality check, and I promised both of my boys, they were 10 and 11 now they're 19 and 20, that I wouldn't miss another event at school. I wouldn't miss a baseball game. They're both baseball players. that I'd be present for them. And I kept that promise. But I had no idea what I was going to do. So I had this really good job. So I'm like, well, I'll find another job. Well, I looked for another job. And as a single mom, if you're trying to find a job where you get paid well, your hours are just garbage. At least that's what I found. And if you find a job that fits with 2 little kids and you're working around their school schedule, you don't get paid a whole lot of money. So I struggled with this, and I'm trying to find something. I'm like, okay, I can't find what I need, so I'm going to create what I need. So I decided to bake out of my house. Now, I am not a baker. I can kind of bake, but I never use that big box in the kitchen. I was always like calling for like takeout or picking food up. So to even come up with an idea like I'm going to start a business cooking is totally insane. But I did it, right? And what I did is, it was before Cake Pops came out. The company I started was called Sweetie Bites. I didn't use the word cake pop because I knew that somebody can Google it like I did, and they can start making them. I knew that, I did my research beforehand, so I knew that nobody on the East Coast had it, but the West Coast did. I knew it was coming. So I'm like, I have a very small window to get my company out there and brand it and be the footprint, so that when it does hit and everybody else starts doing it, because they will start doing it, then at least people will think of me first, right? But again, my degree's in psychology and biology. What do I know about marketing? Nothing. And I have no money, by the way, right? Because I just quit my job. I didn't plan for a safety net. So I'm poor, single mom with 2 kids, baking out of my house and selling a $2 product. That's kind of crazy. When I look back, I'm like, I must have lost my mind, but I guess it had to happen to get me here, right? I did market it. I learned how to market on Facebook and Twitter. Those were the 2 things that were really hot at the time. Advertising companies, ironically, when they would call to ask me, do you want to put an ad in our, publication? Or do you want to get a radio spot? I'm like, I can't afford that. Like, you're way out of my budget. And I'm like, but this is working. I'm on, Facebook and Twitter, and they'd laugh at me. They're like, that's, like, grow up. Like, you can't promote a business on social media. I'm like, it's kind of working. I was fortunate enough to, on Twitter, I got into a Twitter chat. Is anybody on Twitter? Mm-hmm. Couple people? Okay. Have you guys done Twitter chats before? Okay, so I got into a Twitter chat with social media marketing people. I don't know what their exact title were, but they were all into social media marketing. That's really where I learned the most. I didn't realize I was fortunate enough that this group happened to be social media marketing directors for Oprah. Ricky Lake was in part of the group. If anybody remembers Ricky Lake. The producers from Yahoo and E! Entertainment. So I kind of fell into like a really good group of people. I was like, wow, so when I had a question, I would kind of help me out, and we all did it, but I didn't realize who they were because they're not talking, about, it's not like Oprah's name is in there, it's not Oprah, right? But then when I started seeing things they were posting, I'm like, what? Wait a minute, hold on. So it's kind of cool. So I did grow the business. I started shipping nationwide. I was awarded the top mom in business by Discover and Startup Nation in 2011, but I didn't like to bake. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just survival, right? I was in total survival mode. But during that time, people started coming up to me and asking me, can you meet with me? Mainly moms, mainly single moms were saying, I have a question. How do I get my business up and going? And maybe it was a real thing, like a job, like to support their family, not really real, but, or maybe it was a side hustle, right? They might have been in a multi-level marketing. So I'd meet with them individually, and then they all had the same questions. So then I met with them as a group and started doing these workshops. In 2012, 6 years ago, I started doing workshops for people. Now I speak, still kind of on the East Coast, and I'm speaking in Atlanta and Chicago. I speak at Duo Live in Youngstown. Has anybody gone to Duo Live?
This year.
Huh?
I'm gonna go this year.
Are you? Did you sign up for my class?
I'm sure I will.
Two? Okay. That's awesome. Has anybody else gone to Duo? I know you have, Audra, and you'll be there again. So anyhow, so now I speak, I teach people. I do have Sassy Girl Media. It's the agency where I actually do the work for you. But then I have a different program called the Startup Circle that Rayshone's part of and Audra in the back is part of, where I go, like Rayshone was saying, I'll hop on there whenever something is going on social media, but even your business. I'll hop on there and tell everybody what just changed, so you guys know right away. I'm gonna move my stuff just so there's more seats. We all kind of got an announcement on Facebook saying, hey, guess what? We're not going to show you business pages anymore. You're going to just see friends and family and everybody that you love, right? And everybody was like, yay, that's awesome, right? You guys remember seeing that? No? Okay. On my end, I went into panic mode. Like, what do you mean you're not going to see business pages anymore, right? Because I have all these business pages that I'm managing. Like, what is this? What are they talking about? So they want to provide a better experience for their end users. They want it to be more personal. Okay, so they said it's going to be harder. So prior to that, 3% of your fan base, your followers on Facebook, actually saw whatever you posted on your business page. After that, you're now at 1%. So the window got smaller. So it's much harder, right? Unless you do things like sharing. You're having your family and your friends share that stuff. One thing that they did say, though, is, well, how are they going to know? Because you don't even see all your friends anymore that you're friends with on Facebook, right? You're only seeing like 25, 26, whatever that number is. You're seeing a lot less than what you're friends with. So they're telling you who's important to you. So how are they determining who's important to you? They're taking a look at who you're engaging with. So, of course, whose pictures are you liking? You know, who are you sharing? Who are you commenting on? So those things are important. Well, if they work for the people and your friends, it works for the business pages. So here's like a little tip though, right? So you want people to comment. Commenting actually carries more weight now. Before it didn't really matter. As long as you were engaging in some way, and again, engaging is liking, sharing, or commenting. But now commenting is key to get that organic reach out there a little bit more. So Facebook says, hey, listen, we know most people are on their mobile device, right? That's how they're looking at Facebook. They're looking at it through their mobile device. So if you're taking the time to comment, the longer the comment is, the more you're commenting, that takes time to do it. It's easier to do it on a computer or a laptop, but if you're taking the time to do it from a mobile device, then you must really care about that person or that business or that product or that service, right? So we're going to reward you or reward them. We're going to make sure that they show up in your timeline. So as a business owner, what do you do with that? How do I get people to comment on my posts? It's not just liking and sharing. Liking and sharing is still important. So I don't want to discredit that at all. That's still really important. But if you really want to start thinking creatively of the content that you're writing, how do I get people to comment? It might be a poll. It may be, if we're looking over here, okay, like this post that